It's been a long time coming. They ain't come for my clock, they tugging. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hold up.
Hey, good morning. Chickadee check. We're back. Hey, good morning. Chickadee check. And we're back and we're cashing out of this Coinbase is the only trade I've had on for the last 45 minutes. Good morning. And if you're just there hearing me today for the first time, we are on an unprecedented streak that continues. We trade that hasn't failed in 4 years, has not failed us once so far in 2026. And the choices were pretty diverse today. Anywhere from Goodyear Tire to Coca Cola to CVS to some Coinbase. But if you're staying with the earnings reports, I will demonstrate a couple. Let me just load up my screen on another platform here. Let's see if this works too. Hello, Newark. Good morning. If this is still morning to you, yes, sir. Blue is today's, orange is prior day VWAP or multiple time frame, depending on where you have it anchored to. And today, I will demonstrate the trade that now has worked 1,217 times in a row. Real number. We've been tracking it for about 4 years. I've been using it not exclusively. I wish I have been using it exclusively for the last decade, but now as I'm trying to only do these trades and I'm being rewarded very, very handsomely by staying disciplined. And the best part about this trade, my friend, not that it works every time, and inevitably it's going to work less than every time, but that's cool too. But what it does is it keeps you focused. It keeps you away from the other trades that don't work this well. That's one positive thing. Second positive thing is that it's even when it doesn't work, which hasn't been lately, it's a very low risk trade because the entry points are right there on your chart. And it's for the day. You don't need to know what's going to happen tomorrow, nor should you care. You never will care again when you trade this style, you'll realize why I say liquid and loving it. Right? I don't need to invest. I typically trade the shares, but every trade is optionable, which is awesome. I like trading options Thursdays and Fridays because they're cheaper. I trade at the money weekly options. That's why the Qs are a great choice on this trade, because you have daily options. But now you have daily options on some individual stocks, which is getting exciting. Or you trade the leverage version of the stock that you're trading, which gives you a little bit more, bang for your buck. But let's talk about this Coinbase for a second and why I'm still trading it on the long side. Let me put Coinbase up there for you guys. So what looks like some chop to other people is opportunity for me as a VWAPian trader. I only use VWAP, and I wait for a chart pattern that I've been using for 35 years. It's called the fake out, shake out, breakout. Faux show bro for short. And when the faux show bro happens right under VWAP and holds prior support as the shakeout area, and then gets back above the VWAP and back above the orange line, 99 times out of 100, the stock is going to go higher. And that trade, listen to the words that I'm saying, provides you an opportunity to make money almost every single time it shows up. So all you're doing as a trader, an active trader, that's someone who's at the desk, you're not getting an alert. There's no scanner that's going to spit out the winners. You actually have to do a little work. So let's imagine yourself as a fisherman, right? I'm planning to move to Colorado. I'm not going to Google best fishing spots in Colorado. I'm going to go hang out where the fishermen are at the bait and tackle store and become friends with those guys. And I'm going to find out where they go mostly and what rods they use and what kind of lures or what kind of bait they use, what's swimming at the different ponds, what time's the best time to be there. I mean, most of that probably will be on Google, but I want to know where the good fishermen are going. I want to know what bait they're using. I want to know where they're going, what time they're going. And that's what VWAP trading is, and that's what I am. I am your master fisherman or your hunter if you choose to hunt, if you guys like the deer or the elk or the pheasant. You want to go where the fish are, and you also want to use the best bait, right? You want to know what time to go. So that's what I'm doing. That's my service that I provide to everybody. I know the trade works. You just have to see it work for yourself. Then you'll be amazed, as I am. Every single day, I am still absolutely amazed how well this works. And it's shocking still. And by the way, if you're still long Coinbase, I'll explain why we're still long the trade. Not just because Bitcoin's turning around. It's just this stock, right? So what you're looking at here, friends, and we've had over 12 trades to choose from, and every single one has worked. So right now, if you buy into that track record bullshit, our track record is 100%. It means nothing to anybody. Who cares? Track records and win-loss rates are just talking points for people who are trying to sell you something. I don't need to sell. The selling does itself, right? What I sell is the experience to bring you where the fish are or where the good hunting spots are, teach you this trade, make sure you stay at doing this trade. And the hard part is to only do this trade. That's the hard part. But if you think about it, most stocks suck, right? IPOs suck. Most stocks suck. Most stocks are going to zero, or when even the good ones, they run out of steam, they roll over, and they die inevitably. There's not many Eli Lillys and Teslas out there and Apples, right? For every Apple, there's 100 other stocks that are awful. It means nothing to us. Everything you think you need to know about the stock market is irrelevant, because all of that is noise. Economics, fundamentals, everything is noise. When you're a day trader, you only have to focus on one thing: the price of the stock and when to get in and out. during the day. You don't care about what the company does. The only reason you do is if, let's say, you're trading that sector. But when you have earnings coming out, you stay with the stocks that reported earnings, and then you trade the setup that you know works the best. So I just focused you now on a very, very select group of stocks, right? So now, once you get that select group of stocks, and again, for me, it was Coinbase again today because I traded it well the last couple of days. And I'll show you the other ones. There was Coke. There was Goodyear Tire. I mean, we're trading stocks that we don't normally trade because they reported earnings. But I went back to Coinbase. And the trade that makes me money is this trade. It's called a faux show, bro. Fake them out, shake them out, breakout. Right? So what you're looking at on the screen right here, it breaks a new low, and then it comes back, and then it breaks the blue line. Fake them out, shake them out, VWAP break. Blue line gets to the orange line. We sell at the orange line because that's the algorithm telling us that's the next important price discovery level. This is all we're doing, right? We're just trading where to get in, where do we typically see sellers, and when it breaks over the orange line, we're expecting it to go higher, but when it doesn't go higher, we just sell it on the way back down to preserve the money that we made. So then, here it is again. I'm in this trade, and next thing you know, we're breaking new highs. It rolls over again. I'm not expecting to sell it, but then I have to sell it because that's the rule. If it breaks back below the VWAP, it's over. And it was over. And then had this big red candle down, but all that did was set up, right, the next trade. Because then it just faked out, shake out, VWAP break. So we bought it again. So in one day, we're long the stock once, made money, had to get stopped out. Tried it again. Faux show, bro, VWAP break. I'm long again. Here I'm thinking, oh, it's definitely going higher this time. And as I'm saying it's definitely going higher, I'm getting stopped out on the way back down. And then just when I said, you know what, fuck this stock, I'm done with this chop, it goes back to the level where it held before. Fake them out, shake them out, VWAP break. I'm back in. And now we got paid. And this pullback to the, oh my God, gurgling on my own bile. That last pullback, you see that green candle that came after that? That's the people that sold, that said, oh no, we shouldn't have sold, and they wanted back in. Because now it held the prior day VWAP and rallied. So now we're still selling up here at 67.50 because 65 gets you 67.50. We're waiting to see what happens next. But now we lower the stop to here and the 165. So I'm putting stops at 166.70 because that's the price it hit before, 67, 66, 67. And then the whole number down at 65, which is now multiple time frame VWAP. So my stops are in. I don't got to worry. Now, take a look at some of these other trades, my friends. Who trades Coca-Cola, right? Nobody, except we do today. Why? Because when companies report earnings, they give you an advantage. More volume, more better. So if there's more people trading the stock, there's more advantage for us retail traders not to get manipulated. Because more volume, there's less of a chance of the market makers, the they that control what the stock is going to do, to screw around with us. And this was one of the more simple trades because it stayed under VWAP the whole morning, and then you had a clean break to get paid. And if you traded just at the open, you had the faux show, hold the VWAP, had a chance to buy it back, got paid again. But here's what's fun. And here's the part where a lot of people get lost. Well, Kenny, you said the trade never fails. I'm long the Coca-Cola from $76, and I sold it at 70. I bought it at 76 and 30 cents, and I sold it at 76 for a loss. I told you that the trade never fails. What happened? So you bought the stock at 76,630. It went up $1.20, and then it went down $1.50, and you lost money on the trade. Did the trade fail, or did you fail? You failed. That's why when we trade, it's a very simple, another mantra that we have. See the money, take the money. If you have a winning trade, you sell some. You're expecting it to go higher to the orange, right? But what a stock does something that you don't expect it to do, do you say, well, that's unexpected, let me not do something about it? No, you do something about it, right? Like that Coinbase trade. I was disappointed on it twice, but I don't let disappointment become losses. My disappointment, I sell it. That was disappointing. And then it went down some more. And then I bought it again. And I thought it was going to go higher right there. And then it rolled over and I sold it. That was disappointing. And then 8 minutes later, I'm buying it again. And this was a lot less disappointing, but I'm still taking my profit up here. Almost got stopped out of the rest. Just got, sold 167.50. And now I'm sitting here waiting to do whatever I got to do next, which is probably dump it again at 165 because I'm not letting it go back below the orange line. Now, let's address what these guys are doing right now. Some of them are friends, not me, because I don't short the Qs anymore. It's against my religion this week. They're looking for reasons to short the Qs. And I don't mind the idea, but let it be validated. You got a downtrend, obviously. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. You're looking at the Qs right now, right? Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, break. Now, the shorters, demented psychopaths that they are, who think the market could go down, they're going to have to cover inevitably when it breaks back over the blue and back over here. So I'm not bothering. I'm not taking a losing trade anymore. The days to shorting was 3 days ago or last week for 3 days. You had your time. Who's sending me pictures of coins? Who's it? What? Oh, my coin guy texted me in the middle of the day. Anyway, you see that green candle that's happening right on the Qs? That's another reminder. I'm not shorting the Qs. I'm only taking trades that work most of the time. And shorting the Qs only works 20% of the time. And I know when it's time to short the Qs, and I'm not feeling it today, and I'm not shorting it. And I hope it works if you guys are shorting the Qs, but good luck. Good luck. Those 3 days were probably the last 3 good shorting days that we're going to see. But I'd rather go to a trade that works every time it shows up. And that trade continues to be stocks like Coke, getting paid, PGY. Again, faux show, bro. 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal on the PGY. Everybody got paid again on this name, and then it becomes a sell. So let me say that part again out loud. When I say a trade works, provides a winning trade, you need to take the money, right? Like CVS, perfect example. I have a trade that works every time. Faux show, bro. 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal. Right? But if you bought it up here when you were supposed to be buying it here or here or here or here, and you bought it up here, you said it works every time. No, you miss the trade. Now it's rolling over and going back the other direction. The trade, when it sets up, it provides you a winning trade every single time. You have to take that money. And then you raise stops and trade. You're an active trader. You have to trade your way out of it. There are no scanners that do this for you. There are no auto tools doing this for you. Everything that you see on the internet is fake. There is no AI bot spitting out the winners. Doesn't exist. They say it exists. It doesn't. You still got to do the work. You still got to place the trade. And the AI bot that's making money with you just feeding it the data, they're not selling you that. They're keeping that for themselves because that actually makes money for them. They're not going to sell that to you. They'll pretend that they have something like that, but All that any of those scanners and bots are doing is they're trading around VWAP. So as a trader that's just trying to make a living at this, you don't need that many ideas, right? You don't need that many ideas. You basically need 2 or 3 trades a day, right? But it's actually not true. I'm just saying they're not selling it. But I'm saying, Dab, that's what I'm saying. Go find that person that has the AI that can trade for them. If it's working for them, they're not going to sell it to you. Right? That's what I'm saying. The ones that are saying they're selling it to you don't have the one that really works. They wouldn't be selling it to you. But yeah, the parameters for us are always the same. You know, you're just trading gaps and price action around volume weighted average price. And here, just another classic example, right? They're not going to sell it to you. No, I'm telling you, they won't. Oh no, everything exists to some extent. Hey, listen, Citadel has everything you could think of. They have every algorithm that's working. They know what you're going to do before you even do it. But they're not selling it to you. Like trade ideas, right? Trade ideas. I used to have a friend that programmed for them. I had their best of their best scanner. You know what it did? It was overkill. It would just keep spitting out 3,000 things to do. You didn't know which one to choose from. That's kind of the hard part, breaking it down to what you want to choose. And that comes down to just your money. You know, I had a trade in Goodyear Tire today where it's set up where you were risking $50 and you made 200. Right? But after that, you know, it's doing nothing. Coca-Cola, CVS, a couple other names was On Semiconductor, right? A couple of decent ideas to get involved. You know, all these trades that we show you, right? There's another chance to get in most of them at better prices quite often. Here, by the way, that hog trade, right, turned out to be pretty good. You got the 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal. Let me show you the hog. Right? This is where we traded the hog earlier. So some of us trade pre-market. You had a faux show, bro, VWAP break. That's a range break in the pre-market. I like waiting for the 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal to happen in the beginning of the session. But in this case, it didn't give you a chance. The trade worked. But I like the fact that they did the stop hunting candle right there near the open. They tried to stop everybody out. It didn't break down. I bought the stock. It goes up a half a point. You're a seller. Goes up to 21 and a quarter. You're selling some more. Rolls over, breaks 21. The trade's over. And then look what happened. So that's why this trade is so great. It sets itself up. So when you come back and you hold the prior day VWAP and the today's VWAP, you got yourself a new trade to get involved in where you're buying that pullback and you're buying the stock at $20.30. You're risking 30 cents because it breaks that last point, it's going to go lower. So you know anything the stock's going to do for the rest of its day, you're risking 30 cents. Get involved. And then the stock climbs back up close to $1. So you risk 30 cents, and now you're in at $1. I watch VWAP on all time frames, pre-market, aftermarket. Every tick of every trade gets factored into what we're doing. So pre-market VWAP, not as amazing because there's less of the V in the WAP, right? But it's still there. You have the overnight VWAP, and you have today's VWAP. You factor that all in, and that's kind of why somebody just mentioned the short silver, right? That's why now when somebody said, do you want a short silver now? I was like, no, it already fell. Wait for it to go back up to give you a running start. And that's why we're shorting AGQ again, because look, so this morning, I was coming in today looking to short silver, but it was already down when I got up. So I waited for it to go up. Pigeon USA, you know Pigeon's playing ping pong? What's up, Pigeon? I just assumed that you were a Pigeons fan. And then the short and the silver shows up, right? By the way, on semiconductors, still from the pre-market, there hasn't been a break on this one. This one has been pretty good all day, just kicking ass. Now, somebody just had a good question. Where was it? Oh, the Stop Hunter candle on what stock was I just talking about? I keep thinking Coke, but it wasn't Coke. And it wasn't Goodyear Tire. It was the one in the middle. There, the hog. There you go. It doesn't look like much now, but they dropped the bid. There was no bid on the stock. It was 2075 by 1990 bid. They opened the spread up. That's how they manipulate it. How do you know when to enter the trade? New low, starts to go back up, VWAP break, you buy it. And then later in the day, here, for instance, on the hog, first you want a stock to go down below the blue, and then back above it, you're a buyer. So if you miss the first move and the second move, when it comes back and holds it, so it's basically, think about like Popeye coming back to get another bowl of spinach or a can of spinach, comes back, eating the spinach here, and then lifts off. So if every trade you ever take is at VWAP, when you get trades wrong, you're going to lose very, very small. And if you're losing a small, right? What was the saying Jesse Livermore said, right? A small loss on a trade is a trade. A large loss on a trade is a mistake. Everyone's allowed to lose. Nobody ever comes out. Nobody's 100%. But here's the fun part about that track record and the win-loss ratio, and why I say it's bullshit. You could go 1 for 9 every day. No one's going to buy what you're selling if you say that out loud. But what if that one trade you do is always better than the 9 small losses that you took, and every day you're making money? You care about your track record? You care about your win-loss ratio? Or do you care about the P&L that you're going to buy goods and services with and take money out of the market? What's the most important part? Making money. See, that's why when you ask somebody in this business, don't ask them about win rates. Don't ask them about track records. How much money did you make? Right? And again, my answer is always a small amount, because I do most of my trading now. I trade for fun. I've got other things going on. My job now is to teach you guys how to do this by taking limited risk. So it really isn't about me. That's why I want to make the word guru great again, because that word has been tarnished and stepped on and destroyed. And I think it's a fantastic word. And it truly is. It truly does describe my nature. I am passionate about helping other people, because to me, I'm exposing the fraud. I'm exposing that the market's rigged, and that brings joy to my life. Also, showing people that you've been getting manipulated your whole business, your whole life. So you want to make money, or do you want to fuck around? Is kind of what the mantra is, right? Like, and it's trades like this cliff trade today. Like, how are you not buying this trade? Like, how are you not trading Cliff today after all of its wonderful, action yesterday, right? Right? So this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be some $3 stock that's up 9,000%. You want to make a living as a day trader? These are the trades you go to, where you're risking. Look what you're risking here. You got a 1-minute multi-day VWAP collision right here. You got the faux show, and you're buying here at $12.11. You're risking 11 cents. That's it. There's no other way to saying it. It's not about a percentages or a percentage pullback or an RSI. It's 11 cents. The stock stopped going down at 12 earlier, and before that it was 11.97. And if you're buying a VWAP, multi-day VWAP break, you're buying it right there because you got your fake out, shake out, VWAP break. You're buying it at $12.10. You're going to sell it if it breaks that price. That's it. So then it's depending on how much you want to scale it, right? So if you buy 100 shares, you're risking $10. Or not even, you're risking on 100 shares, you're risking basically, $10. And you made yourself, $100. Am I doing math right now? I'm not even doing it right. That's 1,000 shares. But on 1,000 shares, you're risking, if you're risking 10 cents, that's the $100. Stock goes up 30 cents, you're making 300. If you could take that trade every day and only that trade, you can have 2 losses and still come out ahead because the risk is defined. The reason traders fail is that they say that to themselves. Okay, I'm risking 10 cents. And then it starts to go down. And they say, well, I guess I'll see what happens. You just made a plan 5 minutes ago. If it breaks this price, you're going to sell it. Oh, well, I didn't feel like selling it. Let's see what happens. I guess I'll hold on to it till the end of the day. And that's why traders fail. Because you got a plan, and then Mike Tyson punches you in the face, and suddenly you don't got no plan, right? Whatever his line, everybody's got a plan until I punch you in the face. That's kind of what trading is. See, that's why I go in prepared to lose. Maybe I'm a pessimist, but I plan to lose on every trade. So I say, all right, if I'm buying it here and I'm wrong, what am I going to do? That's why I got back into the Coinbase. I was like, all right, I got to give this thing another shot. If I'm wrong, I'm dumping at the lows of the day. Risk clearly defined. I'm buying a VWAP break. There's one of my stops. There's my second stop. Clearly defining the trade. When I'm buying that Coinbase again, I don't need another reason other than faux show, bro, VWAP break. But then I say, okay, what if it doesn't bro? What if I get faux showed? Okay, if I'm buying here, my stop is the low of the fake out and then the low of the original fake out, shake out. So I'm willing to risk, again, you're talking about $163 stock. I'm only risking $1.25 to what? To 2 to make myself 5 or more. So every trade, as long as you put the risk reward in your favor, you can afford to lose. You just have to eat it. You have to eat the loss when the loss happens. And that's why most traders blow up, because that one loss, and especially when you're on a streak. Because streaks, again, this is all the stuff that my mentor, Isaac, taught me. He's like, don't count how many trades you got in a row, right? Because you're never going to want to take that loss. If you've won 7 trades in a row, that 8th trade, all you're thinking about is keeping that streak alive. Now you're not thinking right. You're thinking, all right, I got to do whatever I can not to take this loss. The market doesn't give a shit about your streak. Doesn't care about what you're doing with your life. Cares nothing about you. Every trade's independent. Why'd I get in? What's the risk reward? Where am I selling this if I'm wrong? And that's how you make it. Every trade is the same. And then if you're lucky, the ones you scale up on work. I have bad luck. It seems like anytime I go big on a trade, that's the one that doesn't work. So I still the same parameters on every trade. It's all about the price. If you're trading, what was the one? MSTU, right? So if you're going to trade MicroStrategy's leveraged version, right? What are you risking here? Risking 5, you're risking basically 11 cents. But you're not buying 100 shares of this thing. You got to be buying 3,000 shares, 4,000 shares to make it count, right? Once you identify risk, then it's about how much money you're willing to risk. You identify the risk, it's 10 cents. All right, cool. 1,000 shares I'm willing to risk $100. 3,000 shares I'm willing to risk $300. That's why when I say every trade's exactly the same, every trade is exactly the same. Why am I getting in? Where am I getting out? And what am I going to do when I start winning the trade? Take the money, raise your stop, and then you can't lose. By the way, what you're witnessing today is a typical day. This is actually an up day. No matter what the market does, by the end of the day, Q's being down $1 or $2 is still an up day. You saw what down days looked like last week. 12, 15 points on the Q's. That was a down. Those were down days. And yet there was still buying opportunities later in the day. That's why I choose not to short the Q's unless there is some monumental shit going on, like prior day low breaks, prior day VWAP break, UVXY's flying off the charts on the upside. This is what we call squadouche. Squadouche. I'm going to short a market. The squadouche going on. Boring is bullish. I'm not shorting a market that is just setting me up. And if it goes down a little bit more today, who cares? I take winning trades. Shorting the Qs is a losing game. But the on semiconductor is a winning game. Right? You guys long this on. Why is that still a winning trade? Because it held VWAP, faux show, bro. Held it. The harder they are, the more they try to get you out of a trade, the more bullish. Yeah. You're on live with the radio broadcast. You got good news or bad news?
No news.
All right, no news is good news. I'll call you back. She still calls. The one rule I gave her: never call until 1 o'clock. Guys married, young guys out there, don't get married till you make your first million. So if you're out there listening on TikTok or YouTube and I'm blowing your freaking, your expectations, I hate to break it to you. It's a job. Day trading is a job. That's what you do. Sometimes people want to try to do this as a hobby. You're setting yourself up to lose. There's nothing works in the time frame that you need it to work in. So let's say you have to be out of the house by 11 o'clock. I'll put some trades on between 9:45 and 11. That's a great time slot to be in. But if you have to go at 11 o'clock, then you're forcing the trade to work in that time slot. And the market doesn't bend to your will. CVS, let's take a look. No. But it's not bad. Right? So right now you're just kind of chopping around at that low area. I like waiting to get back above the blue line and the orange line, like 76.54, and then use these pivot points as your out. But right now it's tested VWAP from underneath a couple of times and it's just having a hard time getting over it. So, and also the easy money on the long trade has been made, but I don't hate it here. I just wait it out. I'm in no rush to trade it on the long. I need to get back over the VWAP, hold it from on top, and then you get involved. It's going to retest highs. Okay, well, if you know that for a fact, buy all you can, I guess, right? I don't trade what I think's going to happen, right? Yes, you think's going to happen, right? I don't trade what I think. because I know I lose too many times. So what I do is I wait for the confirmation that CVS is a good buy, which would be above 76.56, holds it, and then starts to rally, then I'm involved. Here it looks like it's about to break down and go back to $75.30. So I definitely wouldn't be buying it right now. That's just based on what I'm looking at. And that's kind of all I do. Yeah, well, we'll give it to you. If you're here for more than 2 weeks, I give you my exact layout on Thinkorswim. You could add the deviation bands to it. I just cleaned it up because now I just use price. The deviation bands used to, I don't know, they're in my way. But yeah, upper bands I used to use +1, -1, up +2, -2. But now it's really just, I've even dumbed it down even more. It's today's VWAP, prior day VWAP. I scroll through 5 days worth of VWAP to see where we've been, and then it's just price. Like the Coinbase, right? I'm still in it because now I have no choice but to wait it out. It's in limbo. I've taken some money off the table. I got blue line and orange line telling me where I have to get out. But until it breaks down under there, I hang in there with it. What's up, y'all? So TikTokers, if you're out there, if you heard me in the morning, if you're watching some of this, we're letting you hang with us for at least 2 weeks, kick the tires, see what this is all about. I got a lot of cool stuff coming out this year. I'm doing a little video about, it's called Glick's Picks. Even if you're in the room, it's probably going to come in handy. So at the beginning of the day, I highlight what I'm going to be doing. So you get an inside scoop on the trades that I'm thinking about placing, where I'd be placing them, where your outs are going to be. So you basically get a little playbook, not just picks, because sometimes what is good at 8 o'clock in the morning, by 9:15, we're out of it and crushing it at 9:30. And by 10 o'clock, we're on the other side of that trade too. So what I'm going to do with these videos is give you the parameters of each side of the trade, so you have a pretty good understanding of what we're thinking about doing, especially if you can't be with us live in a chat room. And then we're going to take it to the next level, is that once you get the video with your parameters, then you're going to get a text alert to when we're actually putting some of those trades on to make sure that you're on the right side with us. That's coming. And then if I could bribe these analysts to do a little side project with me, I am not good at anything else other than intraday trading. I don't pretend to be. Swing trading has never been good for me. I can't pick a stock to save my life. They all seem to be fake companies, or even when I buy stocks that I think are good, they turn into dog shit. I'm done. Right? There's only one person that's given me nothing but winners, and he's got a group of analysts that he works with. And those analysts are not the analysts that you hear on CNBC or StockTwits or Twitter or Yahoo Finance or on the little news blurbs. These are private equity guys moving money, and they get paid for the research. Those are the guys you want to listen to, because the analysts that you read about on Yahoo Finance get their information from these guys. And then when they're in the trade, that's when they start telling it to their friend, to releasing it to the public. They're already involved. You want to get involved when the real people are getting involved. So I'm going to Vegas, and I'm going to throw some money at these guys, and hopefully we get that. So a little technical analysis, which is what I'll be doing, on top of their fundamental breakdown of the trades that they're moving their money into. I think that's a viable, something I could get behind. I don't sell anything I can't get behind. And that's all that stuff that I'm going to be doing. It's going to be in one big package. So if you guys make money with us, again, I still run it the way it should be run. A couple of weeks hanging out, see if you're digging it, see if we know how to make money, if this is for you, and then you just pay to stay, pay to play. Swing trades, yeah, it's all the same, but I don't swing unless it's a good day trade. Like Coinbase. I was planning to swing it, but I didn't swing it. I should have swung it, and now I swung it. But if I was going to swing it, it comes out of the good day trade from Friday, and I'd still be in it. But, I don't have to. It was a pretty good trade the last couple of days without having to own it. I'm pretty much done with swing trading because it usually just ruins the trade for me. I like living in the moment, do as best as I can, and just cash out. But we look at every time frame. We look at dailies, weeklies, monthlies, yearlies, decades worth. Not too often looking at 10-year VWAP, but on some of these trades like AMD coming out and Rambus and a lot of stocks that have been left for dead. You're looking at 10-year VWAPs. Yeah. Yep. Plus, if the market crashes, I don't have to be worried that morning. I could stay focused and look to buy something without having to worry about a portfolio that's getting smoked. The common stock, because I get to use exact prices on the stock. With options, there's less accuracy. Like with Coinbase, I could put it at 165.06. I could put my next stop at 164.37. With the options, you got to go roundabout. I mean, you could put them at pullback prices, but with the options, it's just harder to do that. But yeah, you could trade options with all of this stuff. I love me some options. I just like them better on Thursdays and Fridays. I mean, Amazon was awesome. And by the way, Amazon has daily options now, so really awesome choice. I don't know if you guys know this one at all. Long term, all I own long term right now is the shiny stuff. I've been buying my whole life, so I can't believe it went to 120 that quickly. I thought it would take about 10 years to get there, and now that it did it in 6 weeks, this crash wasn't unexpected. But I hopefully consolidate between 80 and 100 for a while, and then we'll blast off again. I still think silver's going to 180, 250, but it might take 10 years, especially now that we're trading like a tech stock. Well, let's go back to the cliff trade, right? Look how nice, right? Cheap and good. Like I like my ladies. What? My investments are real estate. I have rental properties. And nothing in New York anymore because you have no rights as a landlord. Silver versus the S&P 500. Well, it depends on where you started from. If you started buying silver 11 weeks ago, the S&P's got a lot of room. Nothing. Historical data doesn't mean anything. Carvana's one of the greatest trades ever. No one's even talking about it. The last 3 years, there's not one stock that's been better to own than Carvana. You don't even hear about it. Doesn't matter now. Nothing matters now. Especially if you're a day trader, none of that matters. Nothing matters except what's happening right the moment you're involved. But silver over the last, let's see, what would you have rather been in the last 6 months? AGQ, that went from $40 this summer to $430. I mean, granted, obviously you had to be taking profit along the way or you gave most of it back. But it's irrelevant. That's like the same people that tell me, but Bitcoin is the greatest wealth creator in the history of mankind. For who? You? Well, no, I got in at 50,000. All right, so then what's the point? Who cares? It's not going to be the next biggest wealth creator ever unless it goes to 500 million now, right? If you bought Bitcoin at 50,000, you needed to do what? Even at, so let's say it does go to 5 million and you're in at 50,000, right? It's not a bad trade, actually. 50,000 to 5 million, I'll take it. But let's say it only goes to 1 million, like most people are saying, and you buy it at 50,000. It's a 20 bagger. You've never been involved in a 20 bagger before? They're everywhere. And I'm telling you right now, there's a dozen or more stocks that nobody knows about right now that are going to come out of nowhere. The new energy plays for tech, this, that. There'll be a new battery company that everybody gets involved in that's going to do this or that. There'll be fads. There'll be new generation quantum computing. Suddenly, all the rigatonis and QBTSs and QBERTs and QSs and QSIs, they'll go to zero. It'll be a new birth of quantum something. They'll just invent shit for us to buy. That's what's great about the market, and that's why I like being a trader now. You're never wanting for new ideas. Plus, I don't have to care where the market goes because these trades transcend all market environments. Bull market, bear market, it doesn't matter. The only market you don't do well in is sideways, but this is kind of sideways today, and we found ample opportunity to make a day's pay, right? When you break it down to what are you doing here, you're trying to make a living. Doing the best, trying to make a living, maybe moving on up. Wait a minute, I got 2 songs messed up there. Being no burn on the kitchen, being no burn on the ground. Took out down and move on just to get up there. Now we are in the big league, taking our turn at bat. Wait, that's 2 different songs. Long been live, you and me, babe. Making a living. That's all we. No, I got 3 songs going on. That's Cheers right there. That's all we got. What song was I just singing before that? All right, I'm all fucked up now. You see? Making a living, doing the best I can. Is that just Creedence Clear? Making a living, doing the best I can. No. Oh, see, that's some Skinner right there. All right, got all kinds of things going on in my brain right now. And I'm down to leave and help you understand. I was born. There it is. That's Ramblin' Man. Son of a. Hocus Pocus by Focus. Let's go. You ever see him do it live? Nuts. So what's up? So you're witnessing, this is as boring as it can get, right? Actually, we've had some other boring days, but I don't mind where the boringness starts at 11:45. I mean, we've legitimately kicked this market's ass today. Coinbase 3 different times for paydays. Here's a little scalp we did on the GT. Made $100 earlier on that trade. That one's over. Hog was pretty sweet. You know, that one's still working for us, right? HOG, you're flirting there back with the 21s if you haven't sold any. Got paid on this twice. And when when your job is to just get paid and you get paid, remember the phrase, make a day's pay and go away. Make a day's pay, go away. Right? I love entertaining. I love talking shop all day. But at 12 o'clock, it's time to go eat some breakfast, break your fast, have another cup of coffee, go watch that show you haven't watched, you've been meaning to get to. Speaking of that, you know what I'm getting back into right now? You guys watch Shrinking? It's good. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but Harrison Ford, it's a good show. And other than that, you know, if you like Godfather, you like movies. Hey, what's up, Oliver Army? If you like movies, you like the movie Godfather. Who doesn't, right? There is a 6-part series called The Offer. It's not a documentary. It's a film. It's a show about the making of The Godfather, but acted out. It is the greatest. I mean, especially if you're big into The Godfather, go right now and start watching The Offer. It is so good that I'm onto it for the second time. Bob Evans is one of the greatest characters. Bubby, I started talking like this and I couldn't stop for like a week and a half. We're doing this trading thing. All right, I love it. This VWAP thing. It's going to be huge, bro. It's going to be incredible. The name of the show is The Offer. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Ali Sheedy, Bob Evans, the whole thing. Mario Puzo's there. He's fantastic. He's great. I couldn't stop talking like that for like 2 weeks. Here it is, The Offer, if you guys can't see my screen. And if you want, I know where to get it for free, but I can't spread the website. You have to come to the website. I'll give you a link. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, Miles Teller, everybody loves Miles Teller. I mean, everybody's in this thing. It's so good. It's so well done. And Meredith Garrettson's in it. If you don't know her, you should. She's also in the show Resident Alien. She plays the wife of the mayor. She's funny. Anyway, have something to do is what I'm trying to say. Because the longer you stay, the more you pay. My white lines go a long way, either up your nose or through your veins without something killing your brain. Freeze! Rock! I'm telling you, you will do dumb shit sitting here. It happens. Idle Hands, The Devil's Workshop. Forgot what movie that's from. But if you're at the casino, right? That's why they give you the drinks at the table. They don't want you getting up. Get up. Go do something with yourselves. Come back at 3 o'clock. I used to have the anxiety, oh my God, if I leave the desk, I'm going to miss something. So what? There's another trade every 10 minutes you're going to miss. And then there's tomorrow. All right. Well, nice. Thank you for hanging out. And if you haven't liked and subscribed on TikTok, please do so. Send me an email. We'll get you in the other side in the real chat room. And if you're in the hog, I'd stick around with the hog. CVS. I was trying to warn you not to buy it, but I hope you guys didn't buy it yet. And again, that's why I don't buy stocks that are breaking back below VWAP and testing from underneath. They're usually going to go lower, like CVS just did. And, the market's just consolidating. And you know what consolidation leads to? Up moves, not down. Consolidation generally leads to an up move. And until it breaks prior day low, I am staying away from shorting the Qs. You just got blue line, orange line. I get it. Until we're breaking prior day lows, I don't care. So yesterday's lows on the Qs right now are now new generational lows, as always. 60507. Let me know if we get down there, and maybe I'd be interested in shorting the Qs, but I'm not shorting the Qs. It's a waste of time, waste of money. And another day is in the books. Why go to a trade that hardly ever works? All right. Crude oil futures, the end of the week. Wow. No one's ever asked me that. Can you use the same strategy for long-term holds? Yeah, absolutely. Here, give me a couple of names. What are you looking at? Are you looking at USO, or are you looking at /CL? Yeah, watch this. If I was long oil, I would have got stopped out already, and I'd be out by now. Let's see if you want to look at 5 days worth, yeah, 5 days is saying hang in there, but raise your stop pretty tight. And if you want to go back to look at 10 days, I have it built where I could grab as much data as I want. So there's 10 days, here's 15 days. And all that's telling me is I probably don't want to be long oil right now. Every one of those charts is saying this thing wants to go lower and you got some room to go. But obviously, you get back over 64.30. Yeah, orange line is depending on what data set you're grabbing. I have it built to anchor automatically. That's why my man calls it anchored VWAP. Boop. I have it pre-anchored. I pre-anchor it to all the price. These are like the levels and the time frames that have made sense to me. Oh, I don't trade news at all unless it's end of days news, or this is anchored VWAP by Brian Shannon. This is part 2 of the series. There's a intro to VWAP. And then this takes you home. But yeah, if I was long crude oil, I wouldn't be. And if you get here's why I didn't like CVS, right? So you were thinking about buying CVS. When you're below today's VWAP and the prior day, it's bearish now. It was bullish earlier. But if you're going to buy it again, I wait to see if it goes back to the same prices where it held earlier. And you can buy it on the turn. But usually I wait for it to turn, then break VWAP, and then test from on top. And when it holds, then you know you got a trend reversal. VWAP, the biggest difference is it takes only VWAP into consideration. It's not a moving average per se. It's the average amount stock seen volume going. So that's the more important thing. It's institutional order flow. It's everything that the market, everything you need to know about the market all rolled into one price. Right. Yeah, I know. You told me about that. Yeah. Tell them that you're willing to put up money to outtrade them on any time frame. You'll only use VWAP. And then tell them you'll take the other side of whoever's trades that said that to you. And by the way, you're witnessing right now why I'm never shorting the Qs. Right? Look, every time they get to a certain level, they bounce and the entire trade is wiped out. So you see how it went from the blue line to the orange line? That's just algorithmic chop. Price discovery down to prior day VWAP's holding back to the 1 minute. What's the point of shorting the Qs? It's a losing game. So if you just avoid it, That's just less things you need to now know, and that's where you want to be. You want to focus your attention to the trades that work on the stocks that it works on, and then everything else is noise. That's why I don't listen to news or CNBC or people's opinions. It's irrelevant. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't even care about what I think. I think the market's going to crash every day. Does it? Never. Never. When's the last time it actually crashed? Tariff day, I guess that was sort of a crash, self-induced crash. And then it was August, the yen carry fake crash, unwind. That lasted for 3 days. Who cares? Every time the market goes down, it's met with an equal and greater move to the upside on every time frame. So the point is, why bother? The only reason you short something is intraday fading of a gap. And that doesn't even last too long anymore. No, I know Voss, I know Voz, and I know Voss was a comedian I used to hang out with. Rich Voss. He was hanging out with Opie and Anthony for a while. Me and Rich Voss. Those were fun times. Right? Rich Voss? Remember, he was kind of a douchebag. Yeah, what happened to that guy? Are we going up or down? Nowhere right now. But generally, we're going up. We had 3 down days last week. Probably some of those lows are going to hold for the rest of your life. But on that note, I'm out of here. If you guys want to hang with us in the beginning of the day where there's a little bit more activity, just email me, KennyGlick, AOL.com. I'll send you a link. It's free to join. I just need to have your email address to send you the link. You click the link, it opens up the back door, not in a gay way, unless you're into that. And then you put in the password, and next thing you know, you'll see the screen and hear my dumb voice. Sometimes see my dumb face. And then by 12 o'clock, I'm usually out. And then sometimes our friend comes by. His name is Solid. He's taken all this stuff and really made it extra special. Lots of different algos running all about VWAP all the time. And I usually show up at around 3 o'clock if there's something to talk about. Lately, the afternoons, I haven't really been trading the afternoons. I like trading. I gamble on a couple of plays into the close, like Q's long, probably Amazon long a couple of days ago. No. Monthly kind of like you're dipping your toe in. But if you stay for a couple of months and then you want to get the annual, I usually get you a discount. My corporate overlords run that part. But right now, just come and hang out. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff for the first couple of weeks. All right. And Thursday nights, I probably will be here Thursday night. I got a lot of sad stuff going on. A lot of people in my life are sick right now. So I'm on a little bit of I'm on call right now. Sadly, friends and cousins are in the hospital, and when you're waiting for a phone call. So hopefully those calls at 1:30 in the morning don't come. It's usually at 1:30 for some reason. You know what I'm saying? If you ever had that phone call. But we got some sickly friends suddenly, and they don't look good. It doesn't look good. So again, that's why I know my buddy Solid says it every day. We're very lucky and fortunate that we're able to take advantage of this stuff and, work at home and, make a living at this, be around like-minded individuals that we're all rooting for each other. Just take a step back every once in a while and appreciate everything you have. I appreciate the water coming out of the faucets. The electricity is on. My kids are healthy. I was sick for a month, miserable. Money means nothing if you are not feeling well or alone. So be nice to each other, stay healthy, and let's enjoy ourselves for the next decade doing this. I got at least 10 more years, right? Not to die, I'm saying 10 years of trading. I don't know how long I still want to stem. My eyesight's going. All right. On that solemn note, or only if you look at it that way, appreciate every second you got, my friends. I'll see you on the flip side. And don't short the cues. Life is short. Don't short the cues. All right. I'll see you guys later, possibly Thursday also. See ya.